Hey guys, Bump here, bringing you another War Within Alpha video. Today taking a look at the recent Frost Death Knight talent rework. We have a bunch of new talents, removed talents, moved talents that all have a big impact on exactly what build we're going to run, how we're going to play the game, all those kind of things. So as usual, let's take a look at everything that changed, talk about how they're going to change our rotation, what I feel about the changes, that kind of thing. Let's just jump straight into it and talk about new talents. And there's a couple here. So first of all, you can see here at the bottom, we now have two new kind of paths going down to the bottom, where we have two new capstones as well. Quite a new change. Previously was only obliteration and then breath, but now we have two new ones, which is quite nice. Let's just have a look at all of them. So first of all, we have let's see, shattered frosts. It's down here. So when Frost Strike consumes 5 Race Rise stacks, it deals 50% of the damage dealt to nearby enemies. These reduce damage beyond 8 targets. So essentially this builds on your Shattering Strikes build. If you don't remember Shattering Blade, if you have 5 stacks of Race Rise, you use Frost Strike on that target, it consumes your Race Rise stacks, and then there's a big kind of explosion of that. This is like the dual wheel obliteration talent, where you have Racer Rise as one of your rune forges, and then for the Crusader means that you stack Racer Rise really quickly, and then as soon as you reach 5, you can then burst that with a Frost Strike. So now this builds on top of this talent, means that you get an AoE component of this. So you know, dual wheel obliteration has been struggling in AoE, specifically due to the fact that a large portion of your damage comes from your obliterate cleave. This will mean that the dual wheel obliteration playstyle potentially can see more play, and it just adds some extra gameplay to it. I don't mind it. It's pretty cool. The fact is that how it works, you have Glacial Advance stacking up Racer Rise to each enemies. We'll talk about some more synergy, but you will have scenarios in AoE where you'll have multiple targets that all have 5 stacks of Racer Rise. So what you can then do is kind of tab through them and then Frost Strike to burst them all, which is pretty cool. So I think that's what we'll see there. I'm not sure if this is going to be super competitive, but it's quite fun to see a bit more interaction there. We also have a new talent, Arctic Assault. Consuming Killing Machine fires a Glacial Advance through your target. This is now a capstone of obliteration. It used to have a Cold-Blooded Rage here, which was, I think, Killing Machine of Critical Strike, Frost Strike, something like that. It was a user talent. Now we go into obliteration and then Arctic Assault. This is back from Shadowlands. It used to be a tier set, and it used to be really powerful, so I'm really excited about this one. It has a lot of implications, so just consuming Killing Machine ends up being more value because you add in the damage of Glacial Advance. It means that you get a lot more AoE damage outside your cooldowns, because every time you do Killing Machine, you're going to hit that obliterate, and it's going to spawn the Glacial Advance as well. It's going to cause you to stack Race Rise more quickly, so it gives good synergy with Shattering Blade, for instance. And also talent, I've been missing this one, and I'm excited to see that it has returned now, so very nice there. Alright, we also have a new talent, Smothering Offense. Your auto attack damage increased by 5%. This amount is increased by per stack of ice talents you have and can stack up to 2 additional times. So a completely new talent focusing on our auto attacks. This is like all these 3 talents, we talk through them, right? So increase your auto attack damage by default. And then that increases linearly with how many stacks of ice talents you have. So, it starts by 6%, and then it goes to 12%, and 18%. That's from very limited testing, so it might be slightly different, but that's what I get from it. It also means that ice talents can stack up to 5 times. Just to reiterate, ice talents, you spend rune power. It gives you increased attack speed. So that's default to 3 stack at 80% attack speed. This brings that to 5 stack, which is then 30% attack speed. And importantly, if you're playing Deathbringer, we have Dark Talons, which will bring it up to 7 stacks, which is a total of 42% attack speed. So that's obviously going to increase our auto attack damage significantly. A bit annoying because you're going to require a lot of boss stop time if you run away from the boss, and then you end up losing your ice talents. That's not ideal because then you need to spend time stacking it up again. A lot of implication here when it comes to Killing Machine. Kill Machine procs is linear with attack speed, so 40% increase attack speed, we're going to be 42% more Kill Machine procs. So stacking, going both Smothering Offensive and then Dark Talents, and then you run dual wield, like you're going to get loads of Killing Machine procs. And then that has great synergy with Arctic Assault. You're going to end up, I think, with a very sustained damage profile, because your Killing Machine procs won't only be during Obliteration window. We're going to get so high attack speed that we're going to end up procking a lot outside of that. All right, this builds into two other auto attack focus talents. So we have Icy Death Torrent. You auto attack critical strikes, have a chance to send out Sleet of Ice, dealing frost damage to enemies in front of you. So just random proc whenever you pull off your crits, right? You're gonna get some extra damage. And then finally, the Long Winter. While Pillar of Frost is active, your auto attack critical strikes increases its duration by 1 second, up to a maximum of 5 seconds. This is pretty huge, right? Pillar of Frost is active, that's a lot of strength, especially if you have Obliteration. That's a huge chunk of our damage, and being able to extend that is going to be a huge amount of value. I think there's all kind of, crit interaction and auto attack interaction is going to mean that crit and haste are going to be much more valuable, because, how it works out is that if you increase haste and crit at equal amounts, that's the maximum, or the most efficient way of getting more auto attack crits. And auto attack crits also feed into Killing Machine, obviously. So there's going to be a lot of synergy around getting the crit autos, which is this also works off critical strikes from the autos. So a lot of things there that are going into making your crit more valuable. That's quite interesting, to be honest, because with current Breath of Zaragoza, crit is really valuable already, due to the fact that it generates Killing Machines, which would gives us rune due to murderous efficiency. This one. So, I think we're going to see even more crit stacking, and Frost is going to be this out. You're going to give loads of haste and crit, get all those crit autos, give you more resources, give you more damage, more Killing Machines, that kind of thing. I think the main negative, as I mentioned before, is that this all requires high uptime. So none of these talents deal any damage if you're away from boss, which means that Frost might end up in a scenario where, kind of like Warriors, where any downtime hurts us a lot, which it already does, right? Breath downtime hurts, Obliteration downtime hurts. So moving further into that, I don't know. They're pretty fun, quite passive though. So we'll see. Anyway, that's all the new talents. We have a couple ones which have been redesigned, mainly Frost Scythe. So this is quite exciting. That used to be spammable with no cooldown. It is now a 25-second cooldown. It now costs 2 runes. It's guaranteed critical strike, and it deals 4 times normal damage on the crit. It's a bit weirdly how that works. Essentially, it means that it's the same thing as saying, okay, it can't crit, because it always does a crit, right? The good synergy is obviously that when you use that, you get ice cap cooldown reduction of your pillar, but that has an internal cooldown. So essentially, when you press Frost Scythe, you all get the 2-second of the pillar cooldown. So there we go. This is now just like a cooldown nuke in AoE. Also potentially going to be a button you press in single target, because that's going to be quite a lot of raw damage, to be honest. Like it deals 16k, and then when it crits, it does 4 times. So that's going to be around 60k. Was Obliterate, which is just 16,000 by default. So I think this might be just a button we press whenever it comes up, and it's going to be significantly better in AoE because it's going to be big damage. Nice Scythe thing. And to be honest, when you look at it, it's a pretty cool ability to press. You get this big animation, you go Scythe it all, big damage, pretty cool. All right. Anyway, very happy that they chose to redesign that, because in previous iterations, it ended up being, when you had Frost Scythe, you just kept spamming that button, quite one-dimensional. And then for the last couple of patches and expansion, it just hasn't been worthwhile to press. So good that we're going to see that actually be now a useful button that's going to have an impact. Right. We have some baseline abilities. So Rhyme is now baseline, learn at level 21. We also have that Kill Machine that automatically stacks 1 additional time. That used to be a talent, but now you're going to just get that by default. I'm not sure if it's actually stated anywhere, but that's how that works. Yeah, those are the baseline talents. A couple of other talent changes. So breath Synagosa damage increased by 25%. Breath, it has been significantly reduced in terms of uptime. We now only have a single Empower Rune Weapon charge, that kind of thing. So they state in like a post that they're seeing like around 45-second uptime. So they have to buff the damage to make it more of a bursty cooldown, which is what we want. We have that chill streak now automatically bounced off your Death Knight if a second target isn't found. This was the previous tier set. We say it's useful in single targets. I love to see that by default, because what happened when we didn't have that, or when we don't have that, it means that, chill streak is an AoE button only, and that means it loses a ton of value, because picking AoE is great, but losing a lot of single target by doing so isn't great. So makes that button much more versatile, and is going to be a serious kind of contender for something to pick up. All right, we have a couple of talents which are now 1-point talents. So both Enduring Strength and Frostwolf Aid are now a single point, which is great. It frees up a bit more, flexibility in tree. It allows us to pick more stuff up. And you can see it also, they're now, Ice Cap is now like adjacent to them. Previously, you couldn't bypass them at all. You had to pick up one of them to go into Ice Cap. So that's quite nice. Gives us a bit more flexibility. Some other general movement, you can see Everfrost has been moved up in the tree. It sits up here now. We have that, Biting Cold used to be in this spot here, that kind of thing. A bit more lateral movement possible, so you can like path through. You can avoid Chill Streak by going Empower Rune Weapon into that spot. You can end up in Horn of Winter, by going into Frost Strike and Glacial Advance and Horn of Winter. So just a bit more possible pathways, which is quite nice to see. We also see that with Frost and Fury and Absolute Zero have been moved up in the tree. They used to be down here in the Capstone talents, so they would now be much more accessible. For instance, you can see in this tree, I can pick up Absolute Zero and all the talents down here. So that's nice. I love Frost and Fury. It's a really cool ability. To having more accessibility to that is a good thing. All right, we also have a new talent here, which I might have missed. So Cryogenic Chamber. I actually don't see it in post there, so maybe they forgot to actually post it. Anyway, this builds on Elrond's Winter. So when Frost Fever deals damage, you kind of save up 50% of that, and then that is dealt as a big burst when you press Elrond's Winter. I had to look at it because I was like, is that going to sync out with Gathering Storm if it increases like your dot damage? But what happens is that, you stack it up. When you press Elrond's Winter, it's a big explosion where all that damage is then dealt to the enemies. I think it's pretty cool. Means that it's impactful to kind of press Elrond's Winter and go like, bam, big damage. I wonder if that actually, something to test is if that works with, for instance, Everfrost. Is that baked into that damage increase? Does it work with Gathering Storm? That kind of thing. We'll have to see. But yeah, that's all I had to say about that. Anyway, to your other talents that have been removed, I mentioned this already. Fatal Fixation is now baseline. It just, Killing Machine always stacks to 2. Cold-Blooded Rage, the Frost Strike goes into Killing Machine. Generation also removed, and an Invigorating Freeze, which used to be Frost Fever generating more rune power when it crit, or had a higher probability to generate rune power. So that's also removed. And we can see there is one under construction talent down here, which probably going to feed into Breath in some way. Not sure, because it sits above Breath, but who knows? That's going to be exciting to see what you have to say. All right, so those are all the changes. Let's just make a quick recap. We have lots of new talents. We have this auto attack focused kind of capstone bit here. We have Shattering Blade being kind of extended to now also functioning AoE. We got our Glacial Advance or Killing Machine procs back from Shadowlands, which is great. Quite a lot of talents like on baseline. We have a couple of talents we don't have single points, like Enduring Strength, Frostwolf Aid. Chill Streak now works in single target. Frostworms is further up the tree. All right. What are my general thoughts? I'm quite excited. There's quite a lot of new stuff here. I feel like they're trying to focus a bit more on the sustained damage of Frost outside of your cooldowns. So currently, Frost Breath is really kind of flat when it comes to damage profile, but that's just because Breath is always active. And you have that compared to Obliteration, which peaks a lot on the pillar window, especially in AoE. So essentially, Frost outside of your Obliteration and without Breath is really not doing a lot, especially in AoE. It's like, oh, you press Monsters Winter and that's kind of it. So a lot more talents here that gives you, killing machines now do AoE damage, Shattering Blade deals AoE damage. That kind of thing is going to help a lot with creating a bit more sustained damage profile. And I think it's going to be a lot more proc based. Like, when I look at these talents, I see that, our killing machine proc rate is going to be significantly higher than it is currently, which is fun because killing machine is a great, really nice button to press. And it's a great feeling when that actually, translates into AoE, that kind of thing. Also, shouldn't stop mentioning Frost Scythe. Man, I'm very happy that this is now going to be a proper cooldown. And then it has great synergy because it gets rid of a killing machine. So you're going to have, if you think about away from cooldowns, what is the Frost rotation going to look like in AoE? Well, you're going to be, your auto attack's going to be doing damage. You're going to get lots of killing machine procs that you're going to hit those, get Glacial Advance running. That's going to reduce your Frost Scythe. So you're going to use these every 20, 15 seconds maybe, doing a big chunk of damage. You're pressing remorses. That's like a huge explosion. I don't know. It just feels like it's fun gameplay. Lots of different things come into play to do that AoE damage. Outside of that, Frost does look like it's going to stay the same in general terms in the War Within. They didn't go like, yeah, you know what, Breath Nagosa, let's not do that for Frost, right? That didn't happen. So we'll see what happens. But we're going to have a similar Frost going into the next expansion. We're still going to have the kind of Deafening K Cleaving Strikes issue where you have to do Deafening K to do nice AoE damage. But that is alleviated somewhat when we have so much AoE coming outside of those Oblit cleaving in AoE. So I'm not sure if that's going to be that big of an issue. Also, there's lingering 4 seconds effect. It's going to be really nice. So I don't think it's going to be as big of a problem in the War Within that it is currently, that you pop down in Deafening K and that's like where all your damage comes from. You're gonna have your Frost Worms, you're gonna have your normal killing machines. Well, maybe we'll be playing dual wield to get the quick auto attack speed, getting the nice passive procs there, getting so many killing machine procs, that kind of thing. So alright, so bit of a rambling there. But as always, these videos are, let me know in the comments. What do you guys think about these changes? Are they positive? Anything that you feel is lacking? Any changes do you thinking are like, why did it do this? This is not a good change. I think if you look at each individual change, pretty much each and one of them is a good change. Like, objectively, this is a good thing, right? That is at least how I view it. So leave a comment, as I said, upvote, download, consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.